Good evening, class. Michele Vernuccio here reporting on week 5. We've learned such a great deal in week 5's readings in regards to communication. And chapter 11 was one chapter that I really enjoyed learning about. I'm a firm believer of communication, especially between leaders and its members. And this chapter is really refreshing to touch upon all of the major functions of communications, to its process, too much emphasis on its barriers to effective means of communication. In these past weeks, and learning about my leader, Michele Oliver, who is the global vice president of Mars Chocolate in the UK, I would determine the primary means of communication used by this fascinating leader are as such. 1, lateral communication, which is better defined to us in chapter 11 textbook as the communication amongst those in different departments of the same level. Its advantages include saving time to facilitate and, of course, to coordinate. Michele Oliver, as we've learned in these past weeks, is a successful leader, participating as the glue, is what I like to call, to any project. And as a successful manager leading the global marketing department, she's ensuring that all parts of executing successful marketing and advertising campaigns are met. What is unique about Oliver is that she's producing leadership to a market in the UK. The communication channels are in-house, meaning that they are primarily working together through the various means of written communication, which is something that we learn in chapter 11. Some examples of written communication, which have been defined in the textbook, are email, PowerPoints, which in her example would be defining the research on the social interests by her team, social media, possibly for her team to pitch to the press, blogs to evenly distribute and market social relevance that she is executing in the community based on the marketing and advertising campaigns on these chocolate bars. Because of Oliver's successful marketing background and reading various articles on her success, she's wide. She really is a leader of creativity. She's very charismatic, and she really has that personal engagement. Oliver and her team are creating social credible campaigns, hitting home. How she produces is how she leads her team. In the same article, that I mentioned here, actually, I haven't mentioned yet, but in an article through Campaign's online publication, May 5th, 2017, Oliver quotes, "It is absolutely critical that my marketing department and I are future focused and equipped with a deep understanding of their consumer." Bingo. She demonstrates channel richness here. As it states in chapter 11, rich can be very personable and provide leaders the chance to observe. Oliver is reoccurring the goal of the team with each campaign that she executes in the same structure of what this definition is, as she demonstrates her skills as a leader to her team. Also, the work that she hands down to her team is of controlled process. We learn again in chapter 11 through text how controlled process is detailed, considered on evidence. It relies on facts, on factual figures, logic, while requiring energy. Her successful advertising campaigns include driving that inclusion, that diversity in marketing, according to an online article titled Top 10 Trailblazers for Change, produced by Haymarket Media Group. Oliver is by far an effective leader because of the good works of PR that's issued in so many of these online articles that I'm finding. And really, it truly gives back to her team. She's very personable. She's creative. She's one who cares. She allows herself to roll up her sleeves and get shit done, excuse my French. In chapter 14, we learn about conflict from A to Z. And I must say that in my research on on Michelle Oliver and the Mars UK chocolate brand, I didn't find any articles or any research on conflict. And it can be because this chosen leader is not nationwide like some of those of my other colleagues and classmates, and especially of those that you've chosen. But if I had to guess an example of conflict Oliver would have or could have dealt with, I would say would be intergroup conflict, which defined in chapter 14 is conflict between groups or teams accordingly. The reason I'm choosing this type of a conflict is because Mars chocolate is a tangible product, right? It's food. It has many competitors out there, and other chocolate competitors out in the UK are out to do one thing, is obviously to increase their productivity and sales. And so it's, the conflict would be is how they position their particular product in that very comparable way. So I'm thinking outside of the box and posing this conflict with another competitor. But again, because of her charismatic approach, her love and passion for the good works that she's doing on a community base based on these social trends that she's collaborating campaigns against, Oliver and her team would come to some sort of agreement and negotiate through future campaigns good deeds with a complete kick-ass comeback campaign. Very negotiable. So what are your thoughts on Michelle Oliver, and would you position her in any different state of communication? Let me know your thoughts.